essentially this is called.
Wasn't going to come on this one, this computer, but I've had to, so hang on a minute. So I can see 6 people, but not in chat, so I need someone to say hi. Oh, 7. There's the 7. Oh. Let's see. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? Hi, Scott Ferguson. Thank you. I'll just wait a few minutes. I'm glad you're good. And how's Scott Ferguson as well? I drew a picture last night. What did I draw? Before I start. Oh, this duality thing is just absolutely bonkers. Ugh. The arguing between sides and blah, 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 blah. Hi, Miss Chime. Well, this is a good chat anyway, because that's all duality. And we're trying to rise above it all anyway. Oh, peppermint tea. I drew this last night, and then I've just written on it now, because I normally do write a few things when I draw a picture, and it says, connected above, connected below, as above, so below, but centered at the core, because we are all centered at the core. We all come from one, but it was this picture. Represented like the tree of life. We've got like the little energy orbs, mushrooms, hearts. Not finished it, but a little eye in the middle for one consciousness, third eye, mind's eye. Instead of seeing things through these that get lied to a lot, spiral of life, and a heart for heart energy, brain and heart coherence. Don't know how this is all going to come out on this chat, but it will come out anyway. So that was something I drew last night before bed, and then the words have just gone on it today. Mushrooms, wow, been dreaming of them. I've been making mushrooms out of wood. I'll have to show you some when I do some more mushrooms. Yeah, little mushrooms. Oh, you can draw, Cheryl. You just have to practice. Oh, I calm down now. He's here. We'll all calm down. We're safe. We're all safe anyway. Yeah, you practice what you'd like to do, and you'll get better. But we're all actually, this will say in this video that we're going to sit and listen to, we're all actually geniuses at something, or many things. You're all good at something. So don't believe when someone says you're not, because you are. Some people are more, like I said, there's people who sing, there's people who draw, there's people who architectures, whatever it is. But we're all good at something. Even if it's communication, we're all good at something. And it's normally the thing that you love, that you're normally good at, because obviously that's where you put a lot of your focus. I do draw every day, even if it's just a little doodle. I do draw every day because I just love drawing. I am doing a painting at the minute that looks weird at the minute because there's not many layers on it. I'm trying to get into more painting. I think I'm going to try and do some, I'm okay at watercolors, but acrylic but I want to do it, so I have put something together. How's the illusion treating you all today? Yeah, illusions treat me very well. The illusion that's falling down, the veil that's people are starting to see through and beyond. Hi Dolly, Mark, Miss Chime. Hi Paul from Newcastle. So there is a video I'm going to play that we can just listen to with a brew. You may have heard of this channel before. I come across it, but I think I did a while back. I'm not sure, but they are actually insecure, I will say so, or came across it, so they know of all that side of things. But like I said, that is just another side of a tool. As I said, that there's 17 in the house to help with the awakening. Hey up, yeah, hey up, people. So Also, I've noticed on YouTube, just before we get into it, that the comments when you go over to a channel, don't know if you've noticed on mine, the comments are not there. Normally, you can see the comments straight away, so you're seeing what people are commenting on. Now, YouTube have seemed to have changed it where it says comments have moved, so you have to click on that to comment, but you can't actually see anybody others comments, which is a bit fishy because it's nice to read what other people are saying. But there's that thing again with censoring. And one of my videos went down on my community page, which I think was the video on a whistleblower talking about certain things with what's going on in lockdown. So, and that video has been taken down and taken down and taken down, and everyone keeps putting it up and putting it up. Can't remember the lady's name, but if you know, you'll know. Oh yeah, Drain the Swamp, exactly. Yeah. Oh, Trump just posted on FB. Is that meant to be FBI, FB? Yeah, Drain. Well, we know it's going on. All I can say on the Q realm is General Flynn. General Flynn, been exonerated. I can't say the word properly, but we know what that means if you're into Q. Like I said, I'm not too looking in everything at the minute, but like I said, with General Flynn being free to do what he's going to do and bring out what's going to come out, all I can say is boom. This was one of the chess pieces that needed to be put in place, you know, nearer the end of the game. Just saying, if you're not into it, doesn't really matter. You're going to be seeing anyway. Like I said, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Good morning, Kath. I also saw, don't know if it's true, that Julian Assange is getting a chartered flight to America. Don't know if that's true or whatever's going on, but we all know that's part of the plan as well, because we all know what's in that thing with that part of Julian Assange and what he knew, and the Seth Rich, and why Seth Rich was murdered, because he wasn't robbed, he was murdered, if you didn't know that. Hi, Dolly Daydream. Hi. Is it Azrem, is it? But I just want to say, yet again, I am seeing more people wake up, even if they're just asking questions. There's still a lot of people go, yeah, we know about this, and yes, we know, we knew about this, we knew about that way back. It's like, yes, there's nothing new under the sun, but the difference is the people are awakening mass than years back, even in 2012, before that. We know there was people who've been awake for 20 years, 50 years, more than that, who are not here. Hi, Ricardo, who have not been here. Well, they may be here in energy, but not a physical form, to see this, what is happening right now. Hi, Conscious Evolution. And the thing is, it's like it says on this, what I'm going to play in a minute. You only have to look back at the beginning of this year. Did you really think 2020 was going to be this mad? This eye-opening, this, all this that's going on? Thank you. Crazy, crazy times, but exciting times too. So, you know, there's just lots going on. If you choose to look and if you choose to see, I've been on, hindsight 2020, exactly, 2020 vision. It's ready for truth. People aren't ready for it. I've had someone going on at me on Facebook again. It's not their fault. They do strongly follow MSM and the NHS and this, that, and the other. We're not saying things aren't not going on, but when people, I told this person to maybe go and try and look at Q from the beginning, but look into the stuff, look onto Twitter, alternative news on YouTube. They won't do it. Oh, it's just social media and it's just people saying. Really, it's real people with real experiences. It doesn't mean that everybody on YouTube and everybody on social media is lying. I mean, how open-minded is that? But you'll go and watch mainstream media and you'll believe everything on there that someone's saying, when a lot of people know mainstream media is part of the problem. Yet you won't go and listen to what real people are saying and how it's interlinking of like, what's the word? You know, a consciousness that's going around, but they choose not to look, and that's up to them. They choose not to look. They're going to see anyway. Then another friend put in something about, yes, well, you don't have to post on here. You know, you could post somewhere else. I said, oh, I do post somewhere else, because Facebook is not a brilliant place for posting on, because a lot of people are asleep on Facebook. Not their fault. But it's my platform and I will post where I want to post. And if people don't like it, just like if they don't like what I'm saying on YouTube, they don't have to watch. They don't even have to comment. But this person also said, which was good, people will see in the end. It's like, yes, they will. But why does it have to be? It's a shame it has to be the way it has to be, because yeah, people have died. Whatever, I don't mean whatever, but people have died, and the things going on, you know, meaning why does there have to be such a way where people are getting hurt and people are waking up to certain truths? Well, that's the way it has to be, because only through that way are people going to wake up. Hence why Q dropped the Matrix video, which I'm just going to find now, which I think I did put on my community page. Totally makes sense. This is why. And just like Q said, whether people believe it or not, the people can't be told, because they're not going to believe it. The people have to be shown the truth, and that's what's happening, and that's why it's taking longer, because people have to critically think, high critical thinker, go and actually dig themselves and actually see with their own eyes what's going on, not just on YouTube or the news, actually what's going on in their own street, in their own environment. Just wish people would get that, but good things. So I'm just going to my community page, because I'm sure I put it on here, unless it's been taken down, because something got taken down. Yeah, the day the earth stood still. Well, let's just have a look at this, shall we?
Your problem is not technology. The problem is you. You lack the will to change.
Then help us change. I cannot change your nature. You treat the world as you treat each other. But every civilization reaches a crisis point eventually.
Most of them don't make it.
Yours did? How?
Our sun was dying. We had to evolve in order to survive.
So it was only when your world was threatened with destruction that you became what you are now?
Yes.
Well, that's where we are. You say we're on the brink of destruction, and you're right. But it's only on the brink that people find the will to change. Only at the precipice do we evolve.
Only do the people find the will to change. Only at the precipice, I can't even say it, do people find, you know, the will to change. Because like I've said before, let me just play that again.
The problem is you. You lack the will to change.
You lack the will to change. There's people out there lacking the will to change. They don't want to change. They want to stay normal. Even after all this, I don't want to go back to normal. Normal's not for us. Normal kept us dumbed down. But the people who can have the will to change, you can change. You can change your way of thinking, perception, habits and all that, because that's what we're going through. This is the whole thing with the doing the work, which will be going on for a few more years, because I'm not there yet, but I know I'm on that path, and I see other people, I don't like saying above, but a bit more over there, because we're not above anybody. Nothing's above us either. Them people, them elites think they're above us. You know, they think they're the gods of us. No, we're the gods of ourselves. We're the ones we've been waiting for. Talk about ETs, we're the ETs. I'm just saying, that's how I think. But you can change. But some people have they lack the will to. They don't want to see the truth that's staring them in the face, because they don't like what they're seeing and they don't like what they're hearing. Well, oh well. That you see and hear that you don't like is going to change you, because when you see the dark, you will, well, hopefully you will choose to go to the light, and you will say, oh my God, that is not me. That is not what I want in this world. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I want to step into the light and shine, because a lot of us didn't know what we've been a part of. So when we see what we've been a part of and what we've been distracted by, the majority, I would say, the masses, are going to step away from it, and they will shine the light on the dark. I buy the idea that even if there's only one sane person, that person might be correct. I do not follow the crowd. They love the credit point system. Credited by, well, it's funny enough, because the channel I'm about to shout out, I don't know if it was in this chat, another chat, talked about the credit thing of that. And yes, yes. Has Candy Cane been in? No, I don't think so. I think they feel guilt and sit down. They don't want to think they have been filled. That is the thing. That is the biggest thing, critical thinker. I see friends now who are all like, getting triggered. And it's a lot of it, highway assholes, a lot of it is because they don't want to feel that they've been fooled. And most of us are like that. I got really upset with it. That was part of my awakening, really upset with it. And people do. So some people, rather than would think, do you know what, I've got an open mind, maybe it's not that. Some will choose to just sit there and hold on tight to that was before, because they don't want to, you know, they're bothered about what people think. You shouldn't be bothered about what people think. A lot of it is to do with resonating with something. Like I said before, I share videos and some people say, oh, then people are infiltrated, or whatever the word is, or they're putting things. It's like, yeah, but some of the things they say are true. It's just the bit that you resonate with. And this channel now is probably going to mention a few names, because I know they do, like David Wilcox and this, that, and the other. And people say, oh, that, yeah, but remember, the truth and lies and everything. And also there are people from the other side that have wanted to change for the light, because a lot of these people didn't even know what they were doing either, you know, properly. So, you know, there's that thing, because it's all that thing with duality again. So I'm seeing a lot of people still going on. They're still asking for facts. And that whole thing that I keep saying, there's, hi, Tap77, there's a lot of things out there where it's just a knowing. And you can't even speak the words sometimes. I can't do it. I try to explain to people I know, and I'm like, oh, it's just a feeling and it's a knowing, and it's there's no words for it. And this is what this chat says as well. So I'm going to play it in a minute. And sorry, I'm just reading you. Yes, thank you, We Are Souls. That's the one they keep taking down. They took it off my YouTube as well. A friend posted the video of Dr. Judy, I don't know how to say it, is it Milk, whatever her name is, and triggered another friend. I'm beginning to see how we are such a threat to those who want to stay asleep. Well, as I've been saying, We Are Souls, we are a threat, and that's why that side didn't want us to wake up, but it's tough because we are. And when, you know, and it's speeding up, it's a quickening, because at the end of the day, I've said this before, their lies and their deceit does not work in their secret societies when the world is woken up. And I don't even think it needs to be the whole of the world. Those will come along with it in the end anyway, because they will see everybody else on this and wonder why they're in the lower majority sitting there going, it's not happening, it's not happening. It's like, oh, it is happening, but there's more beyond that than people think as well. The whole thing with, sorry to say, flat earth, people going about politics, it's nothing to do with that. There's truth and lies in everything, but beyond that is a thing they were keeping us from, which is ourselves. We are powerful beings. There's different dimensions, there's energies, there's all this stuff that I can't even get out of myself. I can't even explain properly, but I know a lot of you resonate with it, because you know it's a knowing that they've tried to hide from us. And when you're in certain things and you're only sitting there in one thing, in one community, and you're only just going on about that all the time, and you don't look at anything else, or even move away from that a little bit to look at other stuff, you're in stagnation. You're not flowing. Oh, thank you, Eric. Yeah, I've had it for nearly 6 months at the end of this month. So yeah, Druidry, that's good. I'm into my Vikings and that. So I'm just saying, you know, and like today with the whole V-Day thing, the E-Day, it's like representing the end of the war. Well, it's the end of the silent war, or it's going to be the end of the silent war, even if we're still going forth with things that we're getting out to people. It's signifying to me that, because the truth will be seen, the truth always unearths itself, and it's easy now because of technology and the way we can go and dig for our own information instead of relying on mainstream media, lamestream mafia media. Yeah, like you have a strong mind, they can't affect you. Well, I saw something the other day and it really resonated with me, and I can't remember whose channel it was on, and I've shouted them out, so it could have been Magenta Pixie, I don't know who it was. But the whole thing with the starseed thing, whether you believe it in or not, whatever, is they can't affect. It's in the Magenta Pixie book, and I've highlighted it and I'll read it out. And I resonate so much with this. So let me just find it. It is. Like I said, it's up to people to resonate with their own stuff, but where I'm at, I resonate a lot with this. And all these people, Magenta Pixies, someone else I'm going to shout out in a minute, and other people have all come full circle with, that's exactly what I'm thinking, feeling, and experiencing. So a massive thing is when you're experiencing it, not because you've been told it. Like people say, no, but you're just watching something, you're just listening to something. I'm listening to stuff because it's matching up with my experiences, and I want to talk about my experiences and what I'm thinking and feeling, because I know there's people out there, you lot, and everywhere, that are thinking and feeling and experiencing the same things. And by doing that, we all unify with that timeline of what's going on. That's how I see it. It's not that thing of regurgitating, it's that, oh my God, we're all having this experience. Yeah, exactly. They think it all sounds airy fairy. Someone said to me, oh, you're spiritual something. I said, you are all from spirit. You are spiritual. We're all spiritual. You're all spiritual. All of us are spiritual. They tried to separate, but people in 3D don't understand that. And yes, it's not nice to put labels on 3D, 4D, and 5D. And like Magenta Pixie says, we're all going through stages. Stage 1, 2, and 3. Stage 1 is 3D. And we only know how to say this, to speak it. People don't understand when they're coming from the physical. Is the 3D is where you're at when you believe in all the mainstream and you're living that life in the physical and the material, and you think that the physical and the material is everything, and you're keeping up with the Joneses and you're into all that material. You think that the material keeps you happy. Then at some point in your life, which they normally do call, oh, someone's having a midlife crisis, they'd look at me and go, she's 43. Oh, she's got dreads in now, she's doing this, she's got all spiritual, she's having a midlife crisis. That's part of the awakening. When we were younger and looked at people going, oh, they're having a midlife crisis or something. Yeah, they've broken down that ego and that physical, that material thing where they're like, oh my God, it's not all about that they try to distract us with. There's a more inner knowing and our inner power. That's how I see it. Yes, Sarah Adams is brilliant. I follow Sarah Adams. I've seen a lot of her stuff. She's a lovely, lovely soul. Yes, on duality. This is what I'm trying to get out. Then you go through the second stage, which is waking up, realizing that, oh, that's a bit not really our reality, and the mainstream media rely on, and I need to shout out and I'm getting triggered. But beyond that is the fifth, which is coming from duality, merging into one, coming to love and compassion, realizing that the dark side is part of us, and realizing the dark side had a part to play as well. Some people would be like, what? People in the first stage would be like, what are you going on about? People in second, bit triggered. But you do realize that if you see it as a game of life, it's like they chose to play for the dark side. It's not very nice, but what wakes you up? Seeing the dark, basically. But I highlighted something in there the other day, yesterday. Was it? Let me have a look. It could have been in the Celestine prophecies, which I keep calling the cellophane prophecies. Energy. I think it was this one. If you don't know Magenta Pixie, you need to check a channel out. But basically, oh, maybe I haven't. It was something to do with we just said about, your true power and how they don't go after. I might read a book of it, actually. Oh, is it this one? They go after and attack people. But if you're a starseed, which is a truther, it's the same sort of thing. People who are going against the agendas and all that. I can't see chat at the minute. It says, which makes sense to me, it's just different wording. Targeted groups, it says. The starseeds or truthers, as they are referred to within the original question, are therefore not silenced, because they are trying to silence people, but they said they're trying to silence them more in a group, not individual. Not only are they not silenced, but they are aware that, actually, let me just read a bit where you might find this interesting. It's all about service to self and service to others. We're being service to other, their service to thyself. Oh, let me see if it's... It's going on about targeting, but I'll just read a bit of it. Indeed, this is correct. However, it may appear as if some activated starseeds, if you've been activated, they can't really affect you that much. It's if you've not been activated and you don't know, because then you're easy to manipulate and control, which makes more sense to me. So, indeed, this is correct. However, it may appear as if some activated starseeds are being targeted on an individual level. For example, if they lose their platform, company, or creation, yet this is not individual targeting, just group targeting, and the procedures they have in place will automatically target those with the loudest voices and the widest reach within the community of starseeds you call truthers, as these are the individuals standing in the direct opposition to the service to self agenda. And they're more like the people that are not like me talking about certain stuff for Q, this and that, and the other, the bigger channels that actually call out the names and what they are and this, that, and the other, because that's more in the if you get this book, you'd understand. They are not being individually targeted, even though it may seem that way. This is those with the loudest voices within the starseed group that are wishing to silence. If there is an individual that is not activated into compassion, forgiveness, and unconditional love, they can target that individual directly. This is a group, however, that is being this is a group that is being focused upon. The aim is to clip the wings of the starseeds and put a spoke in the wheel of the Indigo Revolution, because if you're not moving up with consciousness into compassion, like it says of their forgiveness and love, you can even forgive the dark for playing the side that they had to, they can target you easier, because you're getting in all that triggered and angry emotion. That emotion is negative. They want you in the negative because they feed off the negative energies, if that makes sense to anyone. The Indigo, and it's funny how they say the Indigo Revolution starseeds are the ones that talk out a bit more, the ones that are classed as a bit more warrior type. The Indigo Revolution is the rising of the starseeds, especially those carrying indigo frequencies and codes into their collective mission. This being the rising of the frequency of Earth, because we're going along with that as well, bringing the energies of their own home planet to Earth, anchoring the fifth dimensional frequencies into Earth Gaia and assisting all humanity to do the same. The Indigo Revolution involves the standing strong against power and control and moving from victim savior mentality into the sovereignty of source consciousness. People who are in victim mode and savior mode, like I've said, not saying there's a savior. People going about Trump and Q. I never said that. We are the ones we've been waiting for. You are the one you have been waiting for. You are a powerful being. Don't act like a victim, because you ain't going to move forward with that. There's a lot of people acting like victims out there. Hi, Jen. Hi, anyone who's just come in. But it's that whole thing. That thing there of bringing the frequencies of the energies of their home planet to Earth, that is as above, so below, as within, so without. This time it's different to any other cycles of planetary cycles and rising of things coming in and energies. This time's different because we're merging, let's say, heaven on earth. We're merging the physical realm, the spiritual realm, not the physical realm, sorry, the spiritual realm with the physical. That means the spirit and those energies, and that was there, has always been there with our physical body. It's totally different to before. So we'll be working together in unity with it. And along with that, on the outside world of the science and scientific people that a lot regurgitate stuff, and even the medicine and doctors that are programmed, and it says in this video as well, which makes total sense, to just memorize stuff, because that's all they do. A lot of people, not all of them, will come to the belief of there are things that they've not been looking at, to do with the things that you can't initially see, but you can feel and you know that are there in the quantum field. All that is merging. That's why I say the biggest film out there, even though there's loads of them, is The Dark Crystal. The skeptics. The skepties are the skeptics, the ones that know we know better. Oh, it's all to do with science. Yeah, but you're missing bits out, aren't you? What have you not been told? I don't even think people go on about NASA. Yeah, NASA lie. They're not lying about everything, but they lie about a lot just to distract us and take us to something else and to change it to their agenda. So there's many ways of looking at it, but you're more targeted if you're not activated and you're not coming into that node mode or whatever of compassion, love, and forgiving. If you're all in hate and that negative energy, that's why you get attacked more. That's why you feel shitty, because they can attack you on a physical and a non-physical level, because if you're not understanding about energies and how you're supposed to be raising your vibrations, they're going to come after you that way. I know it sounds mad, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, at some point in your life, you'll probably come across things. That's why there's more people wanting to get into meditation, and a few people have been saying to me they know they want to do it. They're not ready yet, but they know they want to do it. It's about being quiet and going within and bringing in those energies from above, this that is merging with us, which will help you as well. Sounds mad, but I'm going to play this video now. Yeah, looking at 3D. I'm, like I said, that's why you're observing a lot of things going. That's why I've quietened down a lot. Even on YouTube, I'm just observing the duality that's going on at the minute, feeling like I'm in a parallel universe. Literally, why I'm here, I'm like, and it's really hard to explain to people that are more in the mind, because it's coming from the mind. It's a mind and heart coherence, which brings me into, and a lot of people that I'm coming across and uniting with, in linking with, as in resonating with, talk about Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've got the book on You Are the Placebo, because you are, and the spiritual supernatural, because you are super, but it's a natural part of us, of healing yourself from within, with your cells in your body. There is a bodily heaven up there with a heavenly body. Those bodies have planets which are like cells. We are, you know, the micro and the macro. We are Gaia's little cells on Gaia. You know, we should be looking after Gaia, but you also have cells within you that you should be speaking to help heal you and loving yourself, so you love your cells, so your cells begin to work properly in your body and help you heal. This is what we're all going to, and we're all going to be learning in the near future of how to do this and come away from the whole distraction, the whole dis-ease, which gives you dis-ease in your body. Yes, words are spells. People laugh at that, but when people haven't been researching on certain stuff of sages, like I put in the title before, and the old ancient ways, numerology and stuff like that, people scoff it. But when you actually look into it, and I've not looked into a lot of it, I just know enough to know, you know, with all the other research that I'm doing, I just know enough to know this reality is not what they say it is, and we've all been lied to, basically. A lot of us know that, common knowledge. But let me play this video. I'm going to sit back now and we're going to listen to this, because I was like, yeah, I like this channel. You know, there might be people that they mention that you don't like and you think are part of this, that and the other, and there's 41 and 14. Flip side. But that's okay. Truth lies in everything, and people, you know, it's what you resonate. It's what you resonate with. Even if you class someone as maybe bad or whatever, they still might be telling you bits of the truth. So it is, the channel is and
helpless.
Oh, not that one. The channel is
They could
Above Duality. That's the channel, and that's what we're trying to do anyway, is rise above duality, you know, good and bad, black and white, yin yang, blah blah, whatever. And we're going to listen to this because I thought it was retooling the world. Well, we need to retool the world. Don't get triggered by things, just listen to it and feel what your heart resonates with, not what you're being told, what your heart resonates with. So I'm going to play it now. And this guy kept talking about the Great Awakening, not in this, but actually knows about Q and that, and comes from a military background or something like that. And like I said, General Flynn before, and we all know that Q is part of the military, and it's part of the Marines that didn't get that infiltrated years ago. And he also mentions JFK in here and all that. So let's have a good listen, sit back with a brew and let's listen. I'm going to try and not interrupt, but you know I probably will.
Right now. And
I just want to say I'm so happy, I'm so excited for the times we're living in, even though it looks crap to some people, but you've got to keep realising your vibrations no matter what happens. But I'm just so in awe. I have to come in here and share it because I can't always share it everywhere else, you know, with people. So it makes me happy when I come in here and I can share stuff where people are sort of understanding what I'm saying. So let's go. Who we're talking about? Critical thinker. Mark is so deep. Mark, who is this guy called Mark? Because I don't know. Is that what you're talking about? I don't know. No, and I've just seen a comment. Just let me just check your comments a minute before I put this on. Yeah, because the Bible was censored by the government. Yeah, the Illuminati. Yeah. And did not want anything spiritual in the book. No, they didn't want anything spiritual in the book. They took a lot of spiritual stuff out of a lot of the teachings around the world. But the thing is, things were kept within. You can't take something out of somebody that knew the knowing. They can take it out of a book. But those spiritual teachings have been kept alive, thank God. And people are putting it out now. This is why people find it very hard to believe certain stuff. But like I said, yeah, we're all going through a healing process, definitely. Awakening the people, drawn to spirituality. A lot of people are getting drawn to spirituality, and some of them don't even know why. Like, they're going, I know I need to meditate, but I'm not quite sure why. You don't need to know why. If it keeps coming up in your head, or a voice or something that you feel drawn to, something like that, it's telling you, spirit's telling you that you need to go and do it. And you will do at some point. That's with food and everything. So, awakening people, hello, and I'm glad you are all going through the same healing process. Yes, Ricardo. I say an adversary attempt. Accidents, tragedies, head my way. Diverted, yeah. You're welcome, awakening the people. Who was Mark? Who was Mark we were talking about? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to play the video. Like I said, it's called Above Duality. I'd love to go on this channel and just have a chat, just to see what, you know, just to the point where I'm at now, and different things. Hi, National Memorial Gardens. Hello, sweetie. Hope you and your family are well. Love, Nathan and Penn. Yes, we are. We're doing well. We're just getting on with it and enjoying some of it. Enjoying the sunshine. Enjoying things that are going on. Watching, observing. But I'm going to play this and see if it makes sense to some of you. So let's go. So I'm not looking at chat at the minute. So this is above duality, retooling the world.
Sort of after that, how you got into this unbelievable world from retooling the world. Very excited to have you on, Jeff. It's going to be a great chat. I know it is. We've already had some great chats
Miss
already.
Chan.
We met
a difficult path.
Now.
It wasn't meant to be easy, because a lot of people wouldn't take it a lot of people would take it if it was easy, but spiritual path is never easy, and you have to learn things along the way, and no one can do it for you apart from yourself. We can help people, you know, just by talking about our experiences, but you've got to do it yourself. You can't cheat the initiation.
Just a pleasure to be part of some fantastic Ascension Mystery School type courses coming up with you, and I knew I had to get you on NDRS as soon as possible with your mission and what you're doing. So thank you so much for joining us.
I just want to say, because Critical Thinkers just put, if you touch the back of another's head at the bottom of the skull, you can transfer energy. I think you can anyway in many different ways. And you know the orbs that you see coming out of my hands, I think everyone's got that ability. That is energy, and you can transfer it. You know, I'm just finding life really just wondermental. I don't even know if that's a word, but I've made it up.
I'd love to just jump in here and give listeners a little bit of a background on what you guys are doing right now, and sort of after that, how you got into this unbelievable world. We'd love to sort of hear some of your stories. So the mic is yours, sir.
Alrighty, it's lovely to be here, David. Thank you very much for the invitation. Always happy to chat about this evolutionary process that we are in the middle of on Mother Earth. I have a very eclectic background, as you might have remember. I currently refer to myself as a recovering investment banker. I went into the world of investment banking and buying and selling businesses, and was witness to so much greed and so much corruption that it made me quite ill when I kind of had to leave. My journey begins at quite a young age, when I was thrust into the world of growing up overnight when my mother died in my arms when I was 16, and that kind of as a result of that event, I learned quite quickly that there is no such thing as death so much as there is sort of the transitional time. And so from that moment on, I was a very curious student wanting to read.
Yes, Reese, it's a big game of Cluedo. You keep looking for who's done it when all the time you were looking for yourself. This is about yourself, and I can't remember what I put in the title. What did I put in the title of this? Finding yourself or something? Because going back to ourself is what we're doing, which is oneness.
About and investigate things that aren't ever talked about. And I think we're now at this time on the planet, we're now in this place where a bunch of this stuff not only needs to be talked about, we are directed to talk about it. So, and when I was, probably in my late teens, maybe early 20s, in a meditation, I got this phrase called retooling for our coming of age.
I started drawing.
I was kind of directed to pen a book. The book has been sort of penned.
So we didn't say before the reason why I drew the tree of life. Yeah, was the connection above, always tapping into the ether, but rooted in earth as well, as above, so below. But when these two are together, powerful core. That's what's happening.
It's taken me many decades, and it still isn't out yet. But, and so one of the things that presented in this time was, how is it that on the planet with changing levels of consciousness, how can we gear people up? Can we prepare people for their next evolutionary stage or step? And how do we overcome the nonsense of mainstream media and social media that has kept us dumbed down and kind of extricated from our own genius? And so over time, while I was working downtown buying and selling companies, I was also a professor in the business faculty and also in the engineering faculty at the University of Calgary. And I did something completely novel, and that was I tried to make the students, I told the students right out of the gate that they were geniuses, much to their chagrin, because they'd been told by most of their other professors that they were a bunch of wanking, foolish idiots. And so we had a lovely conversation about that, and that's when the phrase "awaken the genius within" was coined, probably 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 years ago, where the aspect of what we are attempting to do with retooling is awaken people to the fact that each and every one of us is a genius. Now, some of us may be musically inclined, some of us may be artistically inclined, some of us may be engineering inclined, some of us may be healers, but everybody has a unique gift to bring to this game of ours. And that was where the impetus came. And I've effectively, even though I was working in the real world, I've been teaching this for probably the better part of 30 years.
Yes, critical thinker, you are all brilliant and wonderful beings. You are, and don't let anyone tell you you're different.
Amazing. Yeah, I obviously had a great little intro session with some of your students and team last week, and it really was a blessing to be in that room. I do think it's the most important thing we can be doing right now is those who are awakened at different levels, is that we start to really meditate, maybe is the wrong word, but
I brought a lot of seeds and many years ago painted a great big picture of Atlantis that came out of nowhere, exactly, out of the ether, out of the knowing, out of consciousness of before.
To reflect on our skills as teachers,
so he's talking about meditating now. So
Starseed, blessing to be in that room. I do think it's the most important thing we can be doing right now is those who are awakened at different levels, is that we start to really meditate, maybe is the wrong word, but to reflect on our skills as teachers, as starseeds, as enlightened ones, if you like, and not in a hierarchical sense.
I ain't happy with my girlfriend anymore and I feel like a piece of crap because of it. Should I continue to be with her or break up and take the risk? I'm 18 and in June she's 19. Well, not that that's what we're talking about, but at the end of the day, you're only young and you've got to look at why you're not happy. If you're not happy with the relationship you're in, maybe it's time to set yourself free. You're only young. If it's making you feel like crap, you maybe should write down what it is that's making you feel like crap. Is it something within that relationship or is it something out of that relationship? At the end of the day, if something's not making you feel good and you've said it yourself right there in that comment, should I be breaking up? You're thinking about it. So your inner self already knows that that relationship actually probably isn't good maybe right now for you. You are still young. I know there's people that years back I could have dated that I liked, but at the time it wouldn't have worked because there's a lot of things we need to learn when we're younger and come to when we're older. So yeah, it is okay to feel like crap, but it depends what's going on in that relationship. If something's bringing you down constantly, I've been there. You know, there's more beautiful things that can come in. You're only young, so at the end of the day, there's lots of things. And maybe sometimes in relationships, you need to, you know, when you're younger, it's good to it might be part of the awakening for you to go within yourself and not having distractions from other people that are around you, making you feel crappy. You know, sometimes you can get with people, I've done it in the past, where you're looking to further look within yourself, but there's another person that you're with that's totally not like that. I've had that in the past, and they try and distract you away from that. They don't want you looking into it. Like, they don't want you looking into it. They might not know why, but then you sort of get distracted and you don't do that whole journey and path of going within and looking at yourself, and it distracts you away, because there are people out there who sort of playing the game of that sort of side. No, it sounds whack, but your inner self will intuitively tell you if you're thinking about it and you think it's not right, therefore it's probably telling you it's not right now. Just saying. Anyway, let's get back to the chat.
Whatsoever, as you talk about so well, but to be in service to those who are in that process of waking up. And I just love what.
But like Critical Thinker said, it could just be the vibrations that are going around at the minute that's making you feel about crap. You've got to look at it. Is it the relationship you're in, or is it just something that you're feeling coming from elsewhere? So it's good to write things down sometimes, to have a look at what it actually is. You know, and like people are saying in chat, don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Is it you feeling like crap because you listen to too much news? Because I haven't seen you on here before, and this, that, and the other, and that's getting to you. So therefore you're thinking it's that relationship, but maybe it's not. So try and look at what it actually is that's bugging you. But intuitively, yourself within will tell you. So don't be too hasty. Have a feel about it, what it is.
Doing in, I say living rooms and dens. It's just your living room and den, but excited to see it expand. As I know that one of your great goals is obviously to inspire other people to be doing more of this stuff with us, with you, and also their own teachings as well. Very, very powerful. I love it. Why do you think?
And I will say as well, it's not even because sometimes you can be with somebody who's not on the same wavelength. They can be on the same wavelength with not actually coming into it the same way you did, as long as they're supportive and it's not like thank you, it's not like a big massive argument you're having all the time, or they understand what your essence is and what your true intentions are. You can still be with someone that slightly sees perception a bit different. It's just how you both bounce off and deal with it, because you can get someone who's a bit more over here, as I'd say, and someone a bit more saying the heart and someone more in the mind. So you do have that bit of like, but they are trying to come together. They're still appreciating each other, and they're still wanting to talk about things, and they will come together, because that's that whole thing of two being one as well. Those sides of, I say, the skeptics and the mystics, the female and the feminine way of thinking, the scientific and the mystic side, the right and the left side of the brain. It's all the same thing, all coming together. But if you're someone who's totally cutting you off and won't and tries to limit you and won't let you be a free thinker, that's when it becomes a bit difficult.
Retooling the world and what you're doing is so important right now at this stage of humanity.
Well, I think mainstream media and I think our sociology is such that
yes, and critical thinker, like you just said there. Just remember that those who are unaware, it's a lot to hear and feel and understand. So going back to that whole thing again of if you're with someone who is unaware, it is quite frustrating, but they will come along. Sometimes you have to be patient. This is a bit of a waiting game as well, but love and understanding is needed at the end of the day. But like I said, we'll get back to the video.
Power structure that controls our sociology is terrified of the general population.
And if you are new to the chat, listen to this. And, you know, I do put a lot of other videos telling you to go and listen to other channels. Not telling you, but you might resonate with something, and it's good to hear sometimes.
Waking up. And one of the things that the retooling brings to the table is giving each and every individual who is hungry for it. I mean, there will be many who just ignore it, but giving each and every individual who has eyes.
Yes, and sorry, just because I'm going to stop looking at chat in a minute. Yes, being under is controlled. When we're the 3D people, as we say, the mundane people, the sleeping, I know it's not a nice word to say, but that's how we say it, is they're still trying to understand. Understand is meaning something's over you, and something being over you is you're being controlled. We are trying to understand ourselves. That's why we say meditate and go within. So they're trying to still understand. It's not about understanding, it's about understanding. But they do normally get there at some point, sometimes with you or without you. Sometimes you part and you come back together. That's how it works sometimes. So just saying. But yeah,
to see and ears to hear, the tools to wake up. Now, the ink ignore it, but giving each and every individual who has eyes to see and ears to hear the tools to wake up. Now, the ancient teachings, which is what all of the work that we do is based on.
Oh, thank you, MBA.
They've been teaching this forever, and they've been teaching that every single one of us is a sovereign master in the making.
Sovereign.
And there's a recipe book for one's own owner's manual, and if you follow certain very simple routines and recipes, you can awaken this genius within, your connectivity to higher self. And I think mainstream media and social media keeps everybody completely in the dark about that. And then I think what's happening is this is the time when everybody does wake up. It shifts and changes the vibration of the planet. And it starts to introduce people to the fact that they're here for a very important reason.
We are here for a very important reason. People in 3D won't see that. There is a shift in a vibration going on right now. You can tell with what's going on. It is happening. Yeah, MBA, keep your dollar, mate. I know I just said thank you as in thank you, but we're not after dollars here. We're just after people awakening to themselves. But it is just that's a gift, isn't it? Money's just a gift it's an energy exchange where we are at the minute.
And they came here on purpose, not just to sort of wallow around in deaf, dumb, and blindness, and to fulfill every just to self-gratify. I think there's something more to this gig that we're here than self-gratification.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I love it. I get a lot of messages from certainly people that follow me, follow us, and across the sort of the cosmic web and the physical web as well, on just a lot of questions.
See, this is why we have a cosmic web and an internet web, because as above, so below, it's replicated here in the physical, manifested. Cosmic web, that's why we have the internet. Just saying, as above, so below, as within, so without.
Right now, a lot of fear with what's going
Alchemy.
on, not necessarily for people who are awake, because we sort of know what's coming.
Hi, First Month.
In a very, very exciting way. But really, there's a lot of uncertainty amongst some groups of people, and this will change. Part of our role as you.
Tapper is in chat. Tapper is in chat. He's under Dragon77. Tapper is in chat.
Right to say. But how close are we? How close are we to making a major shift in densities right now, do you think, as a species?
Oh, I think the veil is paper thin right now. I mean, some of the things that I learned decades ago in various parts of the world.
No, my hair doesn't cost a lot at all. It costed a bit to have done, but you don't do anything with it.
we were tasked with just keeping it to ourselves until the time was right. And literally, the time has only been right over this last little while.
I've said this. People have said before in the past, oh, we've known about this, we've known about that. People doing certain stuff, meditate, this, that, and the other. And I've said, yeah, but it's different because this is the time when it's meant to come out, 2020 vision, all these things pushed forward. So the dark side didn't really see what was coming, though they knew this time would come because it's in the prophecies. Even though, they try to mix everything up, but it is prophesized. Not in the prophecies of some prophecies they're trying to talk about, but it's there. Thank you.
So there's, if you will, our elder brothers have been holding us in a wonderful space and waiting when the time is right. Because had you told the world that the moon was made of blue cheese 50 years ago, they would have thought you were nuts. But now you start to say, well, you think maybe the moon might not be what it seems. And there's a certain receptivity index right now that I think is really high. And I think mainstream media, by their own volition, have completely destroyed their credibility.
Light in the void,
and
thank you.
Now all of a sudden people
the void.
Inclined to think
where everything comes from.
Because things seem so bizarre that maybe there's another way to look at things. So I think things are really ripe right now. And I think the efforts that you're making and the efforts that many are making to turn people's lights on will be very well received.
Yeah, well said.
They know if you're, like I said before, they know if your light is not switched on, they can attack you. When your light's switched on, I mean, the dark backtracks from the light, doesn't it? It can't be in the light. So, just saying.
Thank you. Yeah, our mission here is to equip, empower, and encourage the current generation and generations to come to create a life of abundance and prosperity in mind, body, and spirit. That's sort of about dualities.
Let me go and warm my tea up. Sorry. Shortage of clippers. Everyone's going mad about their hair. All the men like, oh, I need my hair cuttings. Like, grown long. You'd be having dreads in your hair next, tell you. Just play this again.
Yours is something very, very similar, I'm sure.
Yes, hair is an hang on.
It does lead to empowerment.
Hair is an antennae. This is why they poison our sources, meds, etc. to lose your hair. Exactly. Your hair is an antennae. That's what they do with the dread world as well. Your hair is an antennae, exactly.
In so many cases, if not all, how are you talk about some of the? I don't want to give too much of a sneak peek, but talk about some of the equipping tools that you're giving people in some of the courses and classes that you're doing.
Okay, well, essentially, it's sort of a modern day version of the mystery school. And the mystery schools from time immemorial, it doesn't matter whether they were in the Far East, in the Middle East, in South America, in North America, all of them have spoken and taught in a way that engages not only the intellect,
but the abstract or contemplative mind. And at this given point in time, we have been told, certainly from a professorial role, that the only validity you have is your intellect.
Yeah, I got a letter off the Gov as well and off Boris Johnson about that. And remember, it's a guidance, it wasn't law. So I've been out. Some people are not even going in the garden. I mean, today with V-Day and that, a lot of people are supposed to be having apparently parties in the street, but across the road from each other, which is fine. But at the end of the day, they don't want you in the sun because the sun is a natural disinfectant.
Intellectual prowess. Now, I've had some pretty serious rows with professors who seem to think their whole task is to be the smartest guy in the room. And when the sages sort of showed up, whether it was the Buddha or Lao Tzu or Kuan Yin, when any of those showed up, what they did is they plugged you into that abstract part of you that could understand truths that transcended the capacity of the intellect to comprehend. So there's aha moments and epiphany moments and ways where these ancient truths have been presented where they're very confusing to the intellect, and yet when you get quiet enough and you noodle,
I've been dreaming a lot.
They make perfect sense. Oftentimes you can't explain why they make perfect sense, and oftentimes you can't explain why you know that they make sense. But there's just this magic space of that aha moment where you go, I get it. I really do understand it, but damned if I can explain it.
This bit is very important. This bit. What he's saying about you just know.
Why they make perfect sense. And oftentimes you can't explain why you know that they make sense. But there's just this magic space of that aha moment where you go, I get it. I really do understand it, but damned if I can explain it.
Yeah, I agree. Funny you mentioned.
And people say, "How do you know? What do you?" It's like, oh, can I explain it? You just know.
Of what I was hearing the other night when you were talking about some of those sages too. I'm excited to really learn more. You're very knowledgeable.
And if you don't know what a sage was a wise person, ancient person, someone with the knowing. You could say a witch. You know, that's why they burned all them back in the day, because they knew about spirit. People who held the knowing and you know, about things beyond the physical sort of thing, if you want to say.
Well, you really are. You've obviously gone through so much and studied so much of this stuff. I have a personal principle, which is a daily practice, and it's the acronym of SAGE, SAGE, and it's to serve at least one person today, to add value to one person at least today, to give gratitude for at least one thing today.
Started doing that again, even though I do it in my head, but writing it down at night, because you've got more to have gratitude for in the evening, because you can think on what's happened in the day. You'll always have gratitude for anything, even if it's the sun shining in the sky, whatever. Gratitude is massive.
And to either empower, equip, and encourage one person today. And I don't always get that 100% right, but I'm pretty good with it. Anyway, these old and ancient sages that, like you said, have really been around for just eons and eons. Their teachings are ever more powerful today than they ever have been. So I love what you're talking about. Let's change gears a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time on this particular piece, but obviously there's a pandemic, quote unquote, in the world right now. Whether it's been bioengineered or not, we have our own views on that. That will come to light when it needs to. But what are some of your personal views on, I call it COVID-19, on CV, and sort of why it's actually an opportunity for us right now? Give me some thoughts on that.
This is going down the rabbit hole a bit, David, as you can well imagine. I think from various teachings that are ancient, and from various prophecies that have been around for thousands and thousands of years, we are at this wonderful magic time of the evolution of Mother Earth. And given that this time is a window opens up and you can leap into higher states of being, or higher levels of vibration, or higher densities, or higher, we have this opportunity to wake up, and at this instant in time, certain factions on the right-hand path, which would be that which would lead to higher enlightenment and the benefit of mankind.
Hooping in the garden yesterday, got my bow and arrow out, had a bit of a shot of that, nearly hit a bullseye, being a bit Maid Marianified in the garden. That was good.
And on the left-hand path, which would be to continue the imprisoning of mankind, there's a fork in the road, and at this fork in the road, the DF, the Dark Force.
I don't know what someone's shouting "get real" for. Most people in the US did not, and are not taking lockdown. They're not here either, and neither am I. So if you're not normally in my channel, we didn't say that. So stop getting triggered, because that's how your comments coming across. Hi, Anne. I've been out and about. I've been doing things. I've been, yeah, not me personally. So yes. Oh, dearie me, and then they come in. So, yes. Oh, it's okay if you're stating facts, but the way you're saying it in my channel sounds like you're saying we don't all know. Most of us do know about that.
Who walk the left-hand path and wish to continue to emasculate and imprison mankind, they're running out of schemes on how to keep mankind deaf, dumb, and blind. And those who are on the right.
What a lot don't realise in the UK is that's why you watch America, because we know in America there's a lot that are not doing that. They're boating, they're doing a lot of things. I know that. I watch America all the time. But there's a lot of people still asleep in the UK. But, you know, it's all coming. It's all coming. Come on, General Flynn.
Path, those who want to turn the lights on, those who want to introduce people to their genius, if you will, they're saying, wake up. And everybody's going, yeah, I do want to wake up. So we're in this wonderful, cosmic, lovely war that's thousands, 10,000s, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of years old. And it's directly related to the emancipation of mankind. Now, the ancients refer to various planets in our solar system as sacred. Earth has yet to attain that status. And this is a time of great efforting by all those who would wish us to advance, to sanctify or make sacred Mother Earth. Now, the whole pandemic,
That's why the Democrats aren't back in the White House, are they, or whatever it is in the thingy, not the White House,
panic scenario is akin to somebody coming into a crowd with a cap gun and shooting off a bunch of cap guns that are blanks, and then everybody.
Well, I'd just like to say first, Munch, I don't need to watch High Wire, but thank you. Video Dolly America is having a good go at all the evil. I know they're having a good go at the evil, because that's part of Q and what they're going after, which is what I've been waffling on about for a few years.
Running.
But thanks anyway.
Panic in and of itself has taken on
we're doing it all together worldwide.
An entire new identity of its own. And so what I think has happened is those who would wish to wake us up and those who would wish to lead us into a place where we can see what's going on as opposed to be told what's going on and panic as a result of it, they have chosen to use this. I would make reference to it as a false flag because somebody had an agenda to launch it, and somebody has an intention on a reaction to it, and those people who developed the virus and who also have the antidote or the vaccine for the virus had an agenda. So when you look behind these activities and you start to see that maybe there's somebody that has an agenda that wants something to happen and they have a solution already prepared, there's something more.
Yeah, though it's not a guy, it's military high up clearance. It's not a guy, it's a team, and it's an alliance, by the way. And a lot of people say that who don't go and research it, and I will say it again because I do stand for Q and Trump. Promises made, promises kept. A lot of things going on there that are actually happening right now and have been happening. If you actually know where to look, just saying. Yeah, we've nothing to show for it. Okay. Soon to see a lot, aren't we? What's just happened with General Flynn?
to this than meets the eye.
Doesn't
And I
matter
think what's
though.
happening
You're
is
not
now
into
that
it. You're not
we've
into
got
it.
everybody turning within, everybody
This is a Q channel, by the way.
self-quarantining, if you will. You now have a place where everybody can get quiet enough to listen and get quiet enough to hear the messages that have been waiting to be heard. And that is, you're all brilliant. You're all here for a reason. The world is changing, and it's changing into a spectacular place where you are not imprisoned and slaves to debt and slaves to your job. There's something very magic going on, and it will waken up people's true alignment with their own divinity.
Well, waking up people's true alignment with their own divinity. Q brought me to some truths. Q brought me to the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening isn't just waking up to the deep state and all the lies that have gone on in the Illuminati, the secret societies. JFK tried to go against the Federal Reserve because the people have got hold of it now. Just saying. Woke me up to more than that, because beyond that, it's a spiritual war. And it's beyond that, but Q's helping wake up to certain things. And when you wake up to that, you will wake up to your spiritual self as well. I did. I did. Used it for more. I didn't stay in the rabbit holes, because if you stay in the rabbit holes, that's a problem you will have. And that's a problem where you'll have, if you don't get out of them. You're allowed to look, but you must move forward. Energy flows. And what you focus on as well is very important. If you don't move from those rabbit holes, you will have a problem.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah, amazing stuff. Just as you probably get as well, I get little pings when I'm in conversations and interactions with people. I know you do. I just got a reminder. I've had a number of messages today from people, but one of them in particular was, and this will sort of...
Q is there to get people to question everything and research yourself, and so they know how to research yourself. Nothing wrong in that, because a lot of people don't, because they watch mainstream media, drink it up, and think mainstream media is telling the whole truth.
Tell into the next topic, I think, although along the same lines. He was
Unchained, yes.
We've had some good discourse since, but he'd asked me, not that I'm necessarily qualified to answer this question, so I'm going to throw it at you, because I think you're a great person to ask this. He had said, and I'm going to paraphrase the hell out of it, but he had said basically,
the bigger picture is there is a source out there, you might call it God, the universe, whatever you call it, and we are a part of that, which they've tried to hide through distractions of certain stuff.
I am really confused right now between where I should be spending my time, whether I should be spending it on the ascension or whether I should be spending it on the Great Awakening. And just some confusion in that message. Not necessarily panic.
Great Awakening, ascension. What do we do? You move from it.
Things he was asking, and I'd replied and just separated the two, although they're directly linked. But how would you answer maybe a question like that, in terms of, it is quite a confusing time for some people, because we know heading into this Great Awakening, this ascension process, but there's a lot of...
By the way, he knows about Q. You know, it's called the Great Awakening, but it's far beyond that, because it's the ascension. It's just to help us move.
Confusing things as to what we should be doing, specifically light workers, like warriors right now, on how we should be spending our time. So how would you answer that, sort of in a broader conversation, I guess?
Whoever posited the question, a great question, and it comes back to something really very simple. There's 3 legs on the stool that we at Retooling constantly make reference to and refer to, and it's study, meditation, and service. So that would make manifest very simply: study, read, learn about, whether it's on Twitter or it's on Instagram. Be discerning with your information sources. Find those information and intelligence dissemination services that resonate with a knowingness within you.
Now, you know, I've always said that it doesn't matter if you're reading it out of a book or you found something on YouTube, if that piece of information resonates, and then you can go within as well and see if that matches up. I've been saying that for a long time. Some people go, oh, it's because you've heard it on there. It's like, it's nothing to do with it. It's to do with a resonation. It's to do with a frequency and a vibration. And then you can go within and see if that, does that sit with me? And That's how we do it as well. Nothing wrong in that. You know?
Quiet, because these advanced intelligences that want to help us evolve are waiting. And if we can get quiet enough, we can listen. We can listen to their inspirations. We can listen to their messages. We can listen to their yearning to emancipate mankind. We are on this wonderful front edge of a wave of ascension, if you will, and we are being.
We all have supernatural powers. That's why I believe a lot of mine come through visual art, because something comes in when I'm drawing. I go in a meditative state. Like I said, this tree was drawn last night. Funny enough, I was talking about trees yesterday, but I've drawn another tree before. I've always said we come from the same core, source, God, whatever you want to call it, core. We're always spiraling. It's never the end. We're just going and going. Information, keep going and learning. We branch out with many different branches. I've got little hearts on. We're all from love. We branch out many different branches of trying to experience and know ourselves, because the creator just wants to know itself through many different experiences. But we all still come from the core. We come back there. We're also grounded in earth because we are a part of the physical side, but we are also reaching up to the stars because we are a part of that as well. But this is merging together. These are the little energy forces here, and we've got the elementals and stuff. So just saying, that's how I explain stuff.
Guided by our elder brethren, if you will, and service, being of service, helping out your neighbor, helping out your family, helping out your parents, helping out your children, helping out your fellow students, helping out your teachers, helping out Mother Earth. I mean, all of that has to do with an aspect of altruism that creates a wave globally that shifts the vibration of the planet.
Love it. Yeah. Well, I get sure.
First one, she's saying, when you go outside, say hello to people. It's a lovely day. Works every time you're helping. Yes, and smiling and everything. It's all positivity.
When you talk, Jeff.
Morning, sleeping warrior.
Oh, I'm excited about the future. It really is. You look out the window and look at the news. Don't do that. You would not think that, but I really am. And I know you are as well. Yeah, that kind of answers the next question that I have, but I want to spin it on to something that Tony Robbins talks about a lot, and not just.
I do first month, but I don't use it to my full potential. I need to. Yeah, I said I was going to print some of my artwork off on a glossier paper if I do prints, and some ones for colouring paper just on normal paper. But yeah, I did say I'd do that, definitely.
Lots of other people who have really been great resources for me in leadership over the years.
Yes, exactly. Unchained. Everyone knows the truth from birth. We do. Then when we get polluted by food and bad air, etc., that's why Trump said last year we need crystal clean air, crystal clean water, because and food, because yeah, we get polluted and distracted, and we come in as the beings, you know, pure essence. But yes,
sort of mainstream business, I guess, and spiritual walks as well, and that is. Your habits and your rituals, they really define certainly your outcome, but they define who you are.
Yeah, glimpses of the
future.
future.
If you have rituals of personal development, spiritual development, and I think a lot of people don't recognize how important they are. I love the quote: the chains of habit too light to be felt. Until they are too heavy to be broken. And I think that's such a powerful quote, so true about our rituals define us. But as you're talking about this stuff and what we can be doing right now to keep in high frequency, keep in vibration, keep in service, can you, as much as you want to share here, because you've got a wonderful presence and a wonderful vibration, you can feel it when you first meet you. What are some of your daily practices and rituals that you'd like to share?
Well, right, so he's going to go through practices, and don't get triggered by the word ritual, and he even says that himself, it's been used in a bad way. Yeah, I did say I could put a colouring book together, but I might do it as loose pieces and put them in a tube, because you might want to frame them, maybe when you've coloured them in, or something like that. Because there was a picture I coloured in the other day, but I don't actually know where it is. But that was the uncoloured picture. And another thing I'm working on, just to say, was just doing things on backs of jackets, and it's going to be angel wings, if you can see. I don't know if you can see, but angel wings. So yeah, it's still being creative in these times. I'm going to go soon.
There's a great quote. The quote that you just quoted is wonderful, because it talks about habituated imprisonment.
And the fridge magnets.
There's another quote that Helen Keller came up with, and it was, happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. So one of the things that we've been socialized into thinking is that if you have a new car, or if you have new shoes, or if you have big breasts, or if you have a scruffy looking beard, or if you have the nice clothes, or if you have a nice house, or if you have a bunch of money, the material goods will feed you and you will achieve some semblance of happiness. Now, during this time, everybody's starting to realize that that was the time when the likes of you and I, when we hit 40 or late 30s, early 40s, 50s, we'd go through what was referred to as a midlife crisis. I've got the house, I got the kids, I got the car, I got the job, and I'm not happy. And so this would the ancients would make reference to as spiritual unrest. Now, when you have fidelity to a worthy purpose, it shifts the whole objective. How is it that I can use the tools that I have at my disposal to pursue some objective that has a greater good to the world? And Jordan Peterson talks about this too. I mean, Jordan Peterson, who's sort of the rock star of YouTube currently, he just basically says living a life of purpose makes the world a better place. And it may not be easy, and it may not necessarily make you happy, but it brings you into alignment with recognizing that your life, as soon as you wake up to your divinity, your life isn't your own. It isn't your own. And we spoke of this, I think we may have spoken of it the last time you and I chatted. If the world in its separation and in its divisiveness, if it operated in any semblance like the body operates, so the pancreas and the liver and the spleen and the kidney.
Yeah, I wasn't talking to Brian Harvey all the time. I'm just on Skype with him, and I have messaged him, and he's messaged me back. And at some point, whenever, we will talk again. I was just checking he was all right with stuff, because he is one of those that's getting truth out about other stuff, and we are all connected anyway. But yeah, message him the other week, message him back. We'll speak to him again on Skype at some point.
And the lungs and the heart, they all get together and go, dude, you've got your job, I've got mine. You're different, I'm different, but I'm going to do everything I can in order to accommodate.
And everybody has their own perception of stuff, you know what I mean? So
of planet body, right? The body, this body is important, and if I'm not working properly, the body breaks down. Can you imagine if?
Money. See, people get things with money. I mean, we don't need loads of money, but we do need money to, you know, to do certain things here. That's what we do. But you can look at money as energy. If someone's done something, say you're buying something, say for instance, if I've made something, you're buying it, that's just a form of your energy saying thank you. Like, it's a form of energy. It's just a physical form of energy. But maybe in the future we'll be doing different things. But it's silly of people to say, oh, you know, we get things for free. It's like, yeah, we do give things for free out in energy. I come on here, and when I used to come on a lot more, it's quite tiring. That's a form of energy, but at the minute, that's how we do things at the minute. In the future, it could be something different, but you know. Thank you, Ricardo.
Humans treated each other like mankind treats each other, we wouldn't last very long. And so consequently, when we embrace our worthiness, because most people grossly underestimate their brilliance and their potential, but when we embrace that, and we also start to realize that as message providers, as harbingers of people's divinity, we have an obligation. So when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is, well, I've got to do a bit of study. I've got to find out some information on how that information can be used and useful to those who are around me,
Good
who
book.
seek to understand themselves, their little selves, and their higher selves. And then you get really quiet. And
To know your higher self, get really quiet by meditating. I'm not saying I do this every day, but the thing is, we're trying to break free of old programming, old ways. We're trying to reprogram our brains and get into new, well, what do you call it? New routines, not the old ones.
listen, maybe somebody who's graciously guiding you says, why don't you go and talk to David and pass along this message on his radio show? Oh, what a great idea. And then David shows up the next day saying, can we get you on the radio show? Well, okay, that sounds fine. And then we start to play into service.
Yeah, be still, I am a god. You're all many gods and goddesses. Those elites wanted to make out they were over us, and they were we all come from source, therefore we all hold source.
And that's when we have open houses and we say, come on, let's sit down, let's talk about stuff that's been given to you. It's yours, it's not mine. It belongs to mankind. All they have to do is ask, and it is given them. So all of these things present themselves in a way that you have.
You got to remember out there, of that conversation that's going on about a certain person, some people are woke to stuff, but they're not awake to the other stuff in a more spiritual sense. It's not their fault. So you've got to remember that as well, you know. And it's hard with all the triggering going on and people this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other. Oh, hang on. And as we speak, I've just had a message from someone about something that I'm not going to let you know about now. It just depends how it goes. Of something that was said a bit ago, which is to do with a spiritual sense or something. And I'm like, oh my God, that's just popped up. Can't tell you yet. I'll just put it out there and see what happens.
This is a life book.
They just fall into three categories.
Ooh.
Study, meditation, and service. Get quiet and listen. Be of service to the fellow man, and keep informed. And keep informed from reliable sources. Be ever mindful that social media and mainstream media, mass mind, has been bamboozled and hypnotized forever, and we're just starting to wake up out of it.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, good stuff. It reminds me of sort of Nikola Tesla, the great Nikola Tesla, and many other greats. He springs to mind when you're talking like this. It's sort of, it's ours, and he, in his mission, if you study his works, I'm sure you have, but he, as he was being funded by J.P. Morgan, I think at the time, if that's correct.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and also J.P. Morgan was funding some other people as well, and there was a sort of juxta value between them, and because Tesla wanted to say, no, all this tech, this wonderful quantum 0-point tech,
Quantum
needs to go out to the world.
quantum
free
energy.
need to have this open source, and JP had likely other handlers and people connected to him at the time, and of course he didn't want that to happen. He wanted to make control and money
exactly
out of that, for the most part, from what I remember. Anyway, so I love it. It is ours. We are taking it back. We are reclaiming it. It's just great stuff.
We are reclaiming it.
Yeah, really cool. Okay, let's jump on to sort of the retooling, and more importantly, the reclaiming of our personal power. Jeff, how powerful are we?
Very.
Well, that's an enormous question, David. I mean, we have a phrase. We use memes, or we use kind of cliches in class. One of the memes we have in class is, if you had any idea how
on the workbench, looking like, hi Matthew.
Bow your feet. And I think part of consistent brainwashing of mankind is to denigrate each individual's sovereign magnificence. And by doing so, they can control them by creating an environment around everybody where they are full of self-doubt and fear and angst and upset and powerlessness. They can control me.
What's next on the booms? General Flynn. That's all I'm saying.
One of the great things that's happening with this awakening is the powers that be that are controlling them are going, holy smokes. If they had any idea how powerful they are, we would all be hooped. We wouldn't be able to control them, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, and that's why I don't go over there a lot, Mark, because it is a dwelling. I can see that. But people will come out of the dwelling.
It's kind of like parents lying in bed at night when they have a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old, and the two parents look at each other and they go, as soon as she figures, or our child figures out that we are powerless, we're no longer going to have any control over them anymore, right? It's you give deference to the powers that be, assuming that they know what's best for you, and they convince you that they are working for your best interests. And when you start to wake up to how bad greedy people are, you start to realize not only do they not have your best interests at hand, they are using you for their own greedish, selfish aspirations, So it's interesting. It's a very interesting time. So are we powerful? Absolutely.
It's hard,
and when you start to wake up, and Tony Robbins does this, you start to wake up to how profoundly powerful you are. It's quite mind-boggling. It is quite mind-boggling, right? You have a child underneath a car, and the mother, without blinking an eye, picks the car up to save the child. Well, how did you do that? You're not supposed to be able to do that. You have no idea how powerful you are.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's I know DW, David Wilcock, talks.
Yeah, if you talk about David Wilcock, that's fine, because there's people doing stuff and you don't know if people are, or they've gone to that side, or they are this, that and the other, but I believe in the end all will be seen in the light. So don't get triggered by some names that might come out. Just sometimes listen to the message some other people are putting out, even if there's names in there that you don't maybe resonate with, because but I will say I'll have to go because my battery's about to die. I was going to play a bit more of it, but you can go over and check out Above Duality's channel and the interviews that he's done on there with certain people, Magenta Pixie, someone called Nicole, somebody really good listen to. I loved it. All I'm just saying again is I'm still vibing high because I'm still seeing people waking up. I'm still seeing people going against people. I'm still seeing people still fighting in duality. That's fair enough. There's a lot of that going on, but there's still a lot of people scratching their heads. But because I look round at a lot of stuff and a lot of different videos and people saying certain things and listening to this and that, even in outside in the street, even people that are not into certain stuff still saying the same sort of thing with the spiritual sense of not them even knowing that they're talking about a spiritual sense. It's still a beautiful thing. It's this big game of life, and it is coming to a head. And like I said, the V-Day thing today with the end of war. Well, I see this as the end of the silent war. Yes, there's still going to be things going on for the next couple of years of people seeing certain stuff, but that's more time for people to do the work thing, because it's not a quick fix thing. You've got to do the work, walk the walk and talk the talk. So, and we're all realizing that right now. But like I said, on the Q side, they've got the General Flynn thing going on. There's loads of stuff coming out with that. Whether you believe in it or not doesn't really matter. Yes, there are people dwelling in negative energies, but when you sort of start to see how things have been for a long time, it's not really hard to see why people are dwelling in certain energies and can't get away from it. But I do believe dark to light and all that sort of stuff. So people will come to it. Thank you, Critical Thinker. I don't even know what I've just said. It was basically just to come on and saying, look, you're all in chat. We're all doing fine. We're all doing this together. You are more powerful than they say you are. We all are. We all have powers beyond comprehension, I think. And we're all starting to see, some of us that are doing the work, that there's these certain things coming in. If you're being pushed to meditate. You know, you've got this feeling that you need to do this or you need to switch off to that. It's because source, spirit, your higher self is telling you to do that. You know, thank you, Ricardo. Yeah. So yeah, please just check out Above Duality. I just wanted to share a bit of his content, and please go and check it out. There's many others out there, you know what I'm saying? We all, you know, but it's just the bits you resonate with. Doesn't always mean I'm not listening to it because someone said a certain word or a certain name. It's normally the bit that you resonate with, because even those on that side put bits of truth out, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so all have a wonderful day with whatever that you're doing. Remember to get out in the sunshine, because it is a natural disinfectant, and we're all doing this together. As I keep saying, there's so much information going on right now. So even the naysayers who go, oh, social media, well, look at alternative media then. That's what I'd say, even though that still is part of social media. But you know, sending you big hugs, Dolly. Where we go, one we go all. Long live Fusker. Yes, Alfie. Vincent Fusker. He talks about JFK in this, actually. Let me see if I can fast forward.
So who's controlling the Netflix and the Amazon Primes and the Apple TVs? All of these things, what they're doing is they're trying to keep us distracted from research and say, I know, we haven't got time for it.
Well, like I said, if you go and listen to that chat, they talk about JFK Jr., they talk about what he was trying to get out, which was the Federal Reserve, to bring that down. But we, the people, have got that back, I should say, in America, all to do with that. That's why they murdered him. That's why Trump and Q are doing what he tried to do. They're finishing what he tried to do. Believe that or don't believe it, I'm not really bothered. It's out there if you want to see it. At the end of the day, we're all in this together. Where we go, one we go all, and I will see you very soon. You know, so like I said, it's when you're experiencing something. Oh, I get it's rain. When you're experiencing something, we'll just go within, you know that to be true. And then when you're seeing people talking about that same thing you're experiencing, you know it is a reality that is coming in. So to have a new world and a new way, not the new world order they wanted. We've got a new world order we want, not theirs. You have to see the dark to see the light. So, you know, that's not what we want to be a part of anymore. We want a new way. We want holistic things in. We want our free will back, which is what we're taking back. Power to the people, free energy. We are the free energy, by the way, as well. We are being freed. That's a form of free energy, because everything is energy. And I will see you very soon. Love and light to everyone. Bye.